Hey guys, welcome back. So, when I did last week's product of the week review, I had said that I had some follow-up, that I was going to do a part 2 on it. So here it is. Now, before we even get into it, I feel like there needs to be some clarification had on these reviews and what my goal and my aim is for the reviews. Because that's going to explain like some of the rest of this stuff. Okay, so when I started making these reviews, you can go back and check behind me. I've been making them for years. I came over to this industry from the cosmetology world. I was a huge fan of makeup, still am, still love makeup, but I wanted to do it professionally. I grew up, like since high school, I've been watching beauty gurus, I've been watching reviews, I've been watching those things. So when I first came here to do reviews, I was trying to do it just like the makeup gurus. And when I say those makeup gurus will slam a product, honey, I have been, compared to how some of them are, I've been so nice. So when I'm talking about these products, I'm not just doing it to like be cruel because I have a personal vendetta against the brand. Like, it's not that at all. When I buy these products, I hope I do like them. I wouldn't spend my money on them if I knew it was just flat out something I wasn't going to like. There are a lot of products out there that are on the market that I just don't like. And no matter how many people are like, oh, you should go use this, I know I don't like it. And I'm not going... Like, I could make videos about all of them and just, like, slam them or whatever, but if I know I don't like something, then why would I buy it to do a first impressions video on it? So, when I went into buying Doglyness, I did buy it with the hope of liking it. Now, I will say, in all fairness to myself, I don't think that my review on Doglyness was in any way unfair. I think I was so, like I said, beyond fair about like how I handled the review. I felt like I tried to touch on every angle, but feelings were still hurt, which I kind of knew was going to happen from the get-go. As soon as Doglyness was involved in the video, I knew feelings were going to get hurt, but because by the time they became involved, sorry, my bangs, like, you know, I just worked all day, okay, haven't touched them up, I just walked in the door and sat down to make this because if I don't make it right now, I won't make it, and I promised you guys it'd be up tomorrow, so that's what we're doing. But I knew with Doglyness, knowing the review was going up, by the time they found out the review was going up, I'd already filmed some stuff that I knew they were not going to like. So I kind of knew that feelings would be hurt when they saw my review, but I was really hoping that it would be something that, like, they may like be a little hurt, like, you know, like if somebody didn't like your haircut, you're gonna be a little hurt, but understand, like, you're not for everybody. That's kind of like what I was hoping for. I think maybe a little bit it went that way, but there were definitely some hurt feelings. The day after I posted my video, I saw the admin in the Doglyness group post this screenshot. I guess I'm just gonna attach people's names because these are people that basically asked me flat out if they could be part of the video, essentially. I was sent stuff from them, so I'm going to just screenshot, show you guys. Okay, so I saw this post, like, seriously, the morning after, maybe 2 mornings after, like, I posted my video. It says, if you ask me if Doglyness is a magic product, I will tell you it isn't, although people like to call it the, quote, magic in the bottle. Many products can achieve the results and great work, but the difference is that with Doglyness, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so you can read that if you want to. Go ahead and pause it, whatever. I knew when I read the first sentence, if you ask me if Doglyness is a magic product, I already knew that was a direct response from my video. And then the quotation, magic with a, magic in a bottle with a winky face, that was obviously a quote for me. Did I not say those exact words in my last video? So when I saw that, I already kind of knew I was in trouble. I was like, uh-oh, somebody's mad at me. But I was like, you know, maybe I'm just being pretentious and making it about me when it's not. But then, like, next day, I ended up getting, like, a 10-page book from her, basically with more information on the product. So, okay, and I have to say, the magic in a bottle thing is a little humorous to me because when I said it, I was actually quoting somebody else. Like, I didn't come up with that. That's what I have seen their ambassadors calling it, magic in a bottle. That is an exact quote that I have seen about the product. And this is not the first person from the Doglyness family that has directly quoted me in a post they made. So, I'm telling you guys, when I make these videos, like, I don't know if sometimes it's understood how much backlash that I can get, because the thing with this community is people are very secretive, and they like to do stuff like that, like little hints that, like, the people that it's about will know it's them, but not enough that anybody else would realize anything's going on. Dog grooming industry loves that stuff. Okay, so, like I said, I just wanted to start by saying, like, I did not buy this stuff to just make a personal war on Doglyness. I obviously didn't know who the owners of the company were or anything about it when I started. If that wasn't clear in my last video, then I don't know how to make it clear, because I was very transparent. I said, like, I don't know. I called the wrong person the owner of the company for the entire video. I clearly didn't know, right? I just saw people promoting this product, and I bought it because everybody's saying it's good, so I bought it. That's all I knew. I literally didn't know anything about it. I think I kind of vaguely knew that it was made by groomers, but a lot of things in this industry are. So I didn't realize how small this brand was when I chose to buy it. If I would have realized that, I wouldn't have touched this product with a 10-foot pole, frankly. I had kind of considered buying the Immortelle, but frankly, this whole Doglyness situation has been such a freaking headache that, like, I don't think I'm going to be buying anything else from them for at least a little while. So, like I said, I saw that, and then the next morning, she had Ingrid message me, okay? So these are the messages. I asked if I could screenshot this and post it in my video, and I said absolutely. So this is the messages. So this came from Ingrid. Says, good morning, Janine. I hope this message finds you well and rested. I believe you have another video in the works over our communications from last week, and I wanted to make sure that if you had any material that talked about the owner of the brand development process, that you were able to give your followers accurate info, so if they had any questions, they could go through the right channels. I'm the managing director for the United States. This is Ingrid. This is who I was speaking of in the last video. Ingrid is who I spoke to. I was, like I said, really on the fence if I was going to attach anybody's name to this, because I was like, oh, I don't know. Like, I definitely don't you dare go attack any of these people that I'm giving you names for. If I find out even one of you sent them a mean message, like, I will lose my mind, okay? Don't you dare. We are not sitting here to bully these people. We are just talking products, okay? So, like I said, Ingrid is who I spoke on the phone to. So, Ingrid. Sorry, girl. Ingrid is the managing director for the United States. She says, I have been with Doglyness since the early stages, but do not own the company. The owner's name is Anka, and I'm not even going to try to touch her last name because I will butcher it. And when it comes to the more direct company questions and ingredient inquiries, she will have the most resources available to your viewers. She has written this to you to introduce herself. So real quick, I split this up in sections by how I got the text so that I can read you the text and then I can comment on it because I think that's fair, right? So I did have another video coming, so I am glad that they cleared up some of this because I do want to make sure I'm providing accurate info. So if you guys do want to know anything, know who the owner is, so you talk to whoever, it's Anka that you want to talk to. She is the owner of the company. So this is from Anka. Anka says, firstly, I would like to introduce myself so that readers can understand who I am and what I'm doing. My name is Anka, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Doglyness. Doglyness is the first entirely zero-waste, eco-GEA, certified and organic vegan pet grooming brand. I started Doglyness because I believe that dogs deserve better care. Our planet deserves more respect, and our planet deserves more respect. I would say that Doglyness is invented not just for the dogs, but for the people who care about ingredients they use on their pets and want to use sustainable products that don't contribute to more plastic waste, contaminate the water, ingredients don't have any adverse reaction or consequences or compromise to the dog's skin. Doglyness is created for those that want more transparency about the pet products that are made and what goes into making a product with full disclosure about the ingredients used, plus EWG scores. Okay, Doglyness is also created for all of those people who believe that dogs' immunity systems should be in balance all the time, including their skin and coat from essential various oils that protect them from various diseases, allergies, cold, heat, environmental agents, etc. Cleansers and Doglyness formations are made out of different sugars and coconut derivatives because I believe sulfates should be forbidden to use on dogs. Without synthetic detergents, soaps, it's rare to find a list of cleaners that we use, even in the highest quality hair care industry. My mission is to create effective, natural dog grooming products that embody respect for people, animals, and nature. Okay, so the sulfates being forbidden to use on dogs. I think that's a really big claim. I feel like that's a big claim to make with no, like, backing, right? Like, because sulfates are used in, like, the majority of dog shampoos, right? So it's kind of like a big claim that they should be forbidden. That's kind of like, whoa, forbidden, huh? But again, so this was really focused on using better ingredients, right? I want to explain why the price is higher compared to other brands on the market, and why, when considered everything, Doglyness is cost-effective and can't be compared to any other products. So far from my personal research, I did quite a bit of research and tried and studied probably every brand out there since I was 6 years old. Ingredients in the Doglyness products are the highest quality, certified organic vegan ingredients. Even our fragrances are IFRA certified allergen-free fragrances. The safest and the most expensive ingredients available on the EU market are certified by Ecologia Institute for Quality, more natural and organic products. More than 98% of our formulations coming from naturally derived ingredients. I have a couple things to say on that one. So to say that it can't be compared to any other product is, again, opinion, because it's shampoo. So can I not compare it to other shampoos? Because that's what I'm comparing it to, because that's what I'm using it. So I can actually kind of compare the two, because I'm comparing, like, okay, if you were a salon that's used to using Tropiclean or whatever, like, I can compare price point and stuff to Doglyness. Like, even though, yes, the products they perform very different, but yes, I can still compare them. So to say that you can't compare them, I kind of have to disagree with you there, because we are all comparing them. Obviously, we're trying to figure out, is this shampoo better than this shampoo, right? So that's comparing it. So yes, totally can compare it, and I think there's pros and cons to both, right? And then, can I just say, and like, not just, like, I'm not trying to just make a jab at her, but like, I've seen this a lot in the grooming industry, that they're like, well, I've been using shampoo for 10 years, I've been doing it for this year. It's like a dick measuring contest. Like, okay, this is like my thing on it. Like, okay, you could be, like, my ex-boyfriend, perfect example. He had dogs his entire life, right? Never had a period in his life where he didn't have dogs. I'm not that way. I got my first dog when I was in high school. So since he had the years of experience on me, he thought he knew more about dogs than I did. Whereas I've been working professionally with dogs for over 10 years. So I have a big dick to measure too, bitch. Ha! I've also used shampoo for a long time, so anyway, but I get it. I get what you're trying to say, but I'm just saying that you can compare it, and we all have a lot of experience with soap, so okay. I don't know how to do this without being mean. I really don't. I guess I'm a mean person. Mean. And then the other thing I wanted to touch on that I've seen Doglyness doing a lot, that I think may be hurting them more than helping them, is they love to go into this, like, this is IFRA, this is EGO, and you're like, the fuck? I don't know what half of that even means, so it's, like, not impressive. It's like me going up to a normie, like a non-dog grooming person, and talking about, like, well, I'm da-da-da-da-da certified, and this certified, and that certified, and that certified. They're gonna be like, that's good, I think. And that's the same thing. So when I was in hair school, what we were taught is you don't talk over people's heads. So talk to your audience. Like, if you are talking to other chemists or people that understand the chemistry and all these certifications and all that, by all means, use all these words, use all these abbreviations, do your damn thing. But when you're talking to normie people that don't know what the fuck that means, you're just right over my head. Like, I couldn't tell you what IFRA means. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, talk within your means. Simplify it. Simplify it for us. It's like if I was going to give you a perm, for example, I'm not going to go up to you and be like, do you want an exothermic or an endothermic perm? Because you don't know what the fuck that means. You know what it means? It means, do you want to go in the dryer? Do you typically go into the dryer or do you not? Okay? And that's how I would say it. Now, when you get your perm, do you normally go under the dryer or do you sit out? That's how I would ask it. I wouldn't be like endothermic or exothermic because it doesn't make any sense, right? So, and I know I'm not alone in that, right? Like, not all of us know what these ratings even mean. So just take that into consideration. This part, I do think some of you guys will be a little bit more interested. She does break down the ingredients. I'm just going to put the screenshot up so that you guys can read. But I'll read you this first part. The ingredients from the natural origin are water, minerals, and ingredients of mineral origin, and physically and chemically. This is exactly what I'm talking about. What the fuck does that even mean? This is exactly what I'm talking about. Don't talk over people's heads because it's just whoop, means nothing to them, right? Now, there may be somebody reading this that this means everything to, right? But to me, I'm like, da-da-da-da-da, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so I'm trying to make this video as interesting as I can. So we're going to skip right over that, but that I will leave that, these links that she sent, I will leave them for you guys down below if you want to check them out and look more into it. Now, I do want to talk about the bottle because I know the bottle is one of the biggest reasons that it is so expensive. And I wanted to talk to, actually originally when I was going to make this second video, I was actually going to talk about what me and Ingrid talked about. And she really broke down how much those bottles actually cost to me, and they are very expensive. Okay, that's a big portion of what you're paying for is that biodegradable bottle. So, Anka says, Doglyness bottles are fully compositable, plastic-free vegan bottles made of raw sugar cane, including the cap and the label. And that's not the pump cap, by the way. That's the cap that it comes with. I could be... correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's not the pump tops. What am I saying? Pump tops. It's not those. It's the one that actually comes on the bottle. Pretty sure. Again, fact check me if I'm wrong. We wanted to have the best quality regarding our formulations and offer the world a possibility to go fully plastic free because Doglyness's mission is to care about the environment the same way we care about our pets. She actually did have more. Okay, I'm gonna skip this part. She talks about like the ingredients, which I'll add that in, the criteria for synthetic and nature identical ingredients into the final project is specified in the EcoGEA standard we follow, and there's their link, so you can go check that out if you're really, really interested. And I will say the reason that she's going in on each of these individual things is to get those ratings, the EcoGEA and all that. It's very expensive. You have to buy, this is what Ingrid told me, is that you can't, like, okay, say you buy from a factory and they have that, like, all natural product or whatever. They can't regrow that thing for like 15 years or something like that. Like, it's got to be 15 years in between, and they have to buy from certain factories and all of that. So that is why it's so expensive. They also told me that it was like $10,000 just to hire the chemist to help make the product, and then like $5,000 anytime they make changes to it. So very expensive. The ingredients themselves are very expensive. The making of the bottle is very expensive. Okay, so that's one thing that I feel like is really important that I really wanted to clear the air on. I don't, and I never have said at any point, I do not believe that Doglyness is trying to rip you off. I don't believe that at all. I know how business works. I am somebody that charges 2 to 3 times what the shop down the street charges, okay? And I have people that they're like, why do you think you're worth that? And I think I'm worth that because I drive an expensive van, I have expensive products, I have these costs, I have this experience, da-da-da-da-da. And that's how it works. That's how we come up with prices. So I have never at any point thought that they were just like, we're fucking special, so we're going to charge $1 million. Like, I never thought that. And if you guys have thought that, like, please reevaluate, because if you're a business owner especially, you know that's not typically how it works, right? A lot of times these brands are charging what they have to charge so that they can stay in business, okay? So I've never doubted them on that. And I do know how it works with the organic ingredients and that they do tend to be more expensive. Okay. So that is why Doglyness is so expensive, is because it is 100% organic, and because of the ingredients and the bottle. Those are the things that make it expensive. It's not even the shipping from Germany, because that's like an additional charge. And they do, their shipping is fair. Like, I have totally seen some shipping that is like outrageous. I think I paid $17 or $19 for shipping. It was fair. So I didn't have an issue with that. And frankly, like, the price point itself, I don't necessarily have an issue with. And I think the thing that maybe got misconstrued in my last video is when I say that it can't be the equivalent to a gallon, I mean that if you are a shop that is doing high volume, like I said, multiple groomers, you've got like 50 to 80 bath dogs like going in and out of that building daily. This is shops I used to work in, right? We couldn't have afforded something like Doglyness, not without super hiking our prices. So what I'm saying is that you cannot get the same amount from a 16-ounce bottle that you would get with an entire gallon, okay? Even if the ratio is really, really amazing, tiny bottle doesn't equal big gallon. What I meant is if you are working in a high-volume shop and you've got a lot of dogs, a lot of bathers, all that, like if your shop is putting out like probably more than 30 a day, I would not even bother with this product for anything other than your show dogs or, you know, personal dogs or whatever. Because, you know, when you're talking about like high volume shop, and that's a lot of the shops in my area, they're very high volume. They got a lot of groomers and they have a high turnover rate. So that means every time that somebody comes in that's a new bather, they're going to be washing your Doglyness down the drain. And that would get very, very expensive. I'm telling you that this product is not affordable for some dog grooming businesses. If you, like for me, I run a high-end business. If I wanted to switch completely to Doglyness, I could totally do that and do a price change of like $10 and I would be golden. Okay, so for some people, you could totally do it and you could totally justify it. But for others, like I said, the first shop I ever work at, that's the one that comes to mind. There were 3 bathers. We bathed between 10 to 15 dogs a day a piece, sometimes more. During Christmas, we got up to 80 dogs one day, and that's why I always say 80, because I've done it. I've done it, bitch. And I'm telling you, in a shop like that, Doglyness would not have been an option. We were using a spree. You know, they were used to paying probably like $30 a gallon or so, and then to be paying $80 for the 16-ounce bottle, it's not going to work. There's no science, no measurements, no like, well, you can dilute it like this. That is going to convince me that a high volume shop that, and by the way, most of the shops in my area that I'm judging this off of are charging $35 for a full haircut, okay? So if you're charging $35 for a full haircut and you've got 80 dogs leaving your building in a day, you cannot afford this product with your business unless you make significant changes. So that's what I meant. I didn't mean to step on any toes by saying I just don't think it's going to last as long. That's my opinion and observation. I just don't think the numbers are adding up. But here is what Anka said about the dilution ratios. So she says, besides, Doglyness products are highly concentrated solutions that last longer. Last longer than what? Because iGroom has a 16-ounce 50-to-1 concentrate bottle that is like $20 or $30. Yours does not concentrate 50-to-1. So longer lasting compared to what? Diluted with water. 500 milliliters of our shampoo is the equivalent to 10 to 12 5 liters of shampoo. Conditioner, even more, 5 liters, can last for a very long time. With Doglyness products, it's enough to wash the dog maximally 3 times per month. The hair will stay hydrated in excellent shape all the way to the next bathing. It says this is the review and the opinion we get from every person that tried our product so far, except me, and that's why you're And that's why you're here right now. That's why he's sending me these messages. And that was one thing that did kind of crack me up about it. No offense, girl. I'm sure you're probably watching this. But one thing that kind of cracked me up is like, there was like one part of this message that they're like, here's a link to our reviews. I'm like, babe, they're here to, this is Grooms by Janine reviews. Okay, they're here for my review. If they want to see your review, they can go to your website. They're not dumb. Okay, there's tons of reviews on this product. It's not hard to find. Go to Instagram. You'll find it. Okay, and everybody loves it but me. She's not wrong about that. They both basically told me that, well, I guess I won't say Anka did, but Ingrid definitely said that was like basically the first person that came out publicly and was like, I don't think I like this. So I think that, and that's important because I think that more than anything explains all this, right? Because they just have never had anybody be like, oh, I don't like this before. I know they've got a lot of team members. I know they'd given it out to certain people, the like industry leaders. It was their verbiage. And the industry leaders loved it. And they gave him positive feedback and all that. So I am not affiliated with any of them. I bought this with my own money. They didn't send this to me. And, I had my different opinion. I knew I was going to be hard on this product. I went into it with the full intention of being really hard on this product. And maybe I'm wrong for that, but I am like, I'm sorry, this is really expensive. And my whole point in doing this review in the first place was to, give people the information they needed so that they can make their own decisions from it. Next, Anka says, natural texture, since I have poodles myself, was very important to me when we were developing, testing, and improving our formulations for a very long time, and product development is costly. Doglyness products are not white labeled or given to a third party to make them under our label. Regarding the formulations itself, they are very concentrated. A little goes a long way. For small dogs, dwarf dogs, one bottle, 500 ml, is enough for the whole year. Medium dogs, 1.5 bottles used per year. Large dog, 2 bottles used per year. I guess I'm a little confused on those measurements. If you're doing one dog, 1 bottle. Okay, if you're doing 1 dog, then I could maybe see how it'd last you a year, but I'm like, huh? Like, is it just me? Like, I'm like sitting here really scratching my head over this one, but, yeah, so we're gonna just assume that's what she meant for 1 dog, because otherwise, I mean, if you're doing 30 dogs a day, I don't think that math adds up. Is it just me? That math's not mathing to me. That's really all Anka said. It was just kind of like further going into the cost of everything. But I do want to talk about what me and Ingrid talked about, because I feel like it was a little bit more thorough just because me and Ingrid talked on the phone for so long. So firstly, we went into why it's so expensive. The mixing ratio is the next thing that was like so confusing. So there is no mixing ratio. Doesn't exist, okay? Basically, they put 1 to 20 because that's supposed to be universal, but it's not. It doesn't work, right? So just ignore that. They are working on it, though. They have some ideas in place that they are trying to work towards making more videos available. I showed them those little, like, CAPTCHA things or whatever. You know those things you scan at the restaurants to get the menu to pull up? I have those all over my van, in the hand van. If anything goes wrong, then I scan that little thing and it brings me to a video on how to fix it. So I told them they should look into doing something like that, so you can just scan and be like, I have a Yorkie in front of me. I want to watch the Yorkie video. You know what I mean? So that's something that they said they were going to work on. So if it doesn't come out, then now I've called them out on it. And you know that we talked about it and they didn't do it. Ha! No, I'm just kidding. But that's what they said. They were going to look into doing something like that. So there is no mixing ratio. So that's why it was so confusing, because basically for a dog like Stevie, you might need 2 pumps, whereas like a dog like Luna, my German Shepherd Corgi mix that's full of hair, you might need 5 pumps, right? So that's why there's no clear mixing ratio. So it really is like a little bit of eyeballing it. Now, I know people aren't going to like that answer, because this is very expensive. People want to know, I want, like, how many pumps do I do? 2 pumps and that should be plenty? Okay, I'm only doing 2 because I don't want to overuse it, right? So that's why I don't think people are going to love that there's not really a mixing ratio. But that's the truth, and that's why there's not, and yeah, it varies depending on the dog that you're grooming, how much you're going to need, okay? So the best use, they recommend using the shower head that has the product thing like you would use to wash your car with. You can froth it. You can use it in your bathing system. So I talked about in my last video that it spilled a little bit before shipping. That is because of those caps that are biodegradable. They are not there all the way. There's a lot of the issues that they've had that they are working on is basically the science isn't there yet. So they know that the leaking caps are a problem, but they don't have the science to fix it yet. So that's something they're working on. So that's something I talked about that I did want to be talking about, or that I did want to mention, because I mentioned it in my last video. I was like, this is leaking, what the heck? And then after I filmed that, I found out why, and that they do actually know about that. The pumps that come with the bottle are cheap pumps, and they do tend to break. So if you get one that's broken, I would reach out to them for $80. You better reach out to them and get a new pump for your bottle, honey. The thing that I really like about the bottle, and I feel like I did mention this, I did mention it, I know for a fact I did in my last video, is that these bottles do decompose in 3 months in the landfill. You can also like boil it apparently, and it'll just like dissolve, and that's kind of cool. It's made out of sugar, so that's really cool. And I said it in my last video, and I'll say it again, I think a lot of brands should consider looking into this packaging. I hate the label on it. I hate that it looks so shitty in the background, but knowing like, hey, when I throw this away, like I don't have to worry about recycling, none of it. I just throw it away and it'll decompose. I don't have to worry about polluting the environment. So I think that's great. I think that's a great move over the recycling. I think every brand should be looking into doing these bottles. Said it before, I'll say it again. Another thing that I thought was really important that I wanted to touch on is that this is fine to leave in the vans overnight. I double checked because it did say that you need to store it in a certain location, like on the bottle, but I double checked because that's something as a mobile groomer I want to know. I do not want to have to bring my shampoo in every day because I will forget it here. So I said that will be fine in the van. Now, for you Doglyness lovers out there, they are trying to make bigger bottles of the product. The problem is with this stuff being so organic and all natural and all that, it doesn't have tons of preservatives in it. So basically the trouble there we're running into is that the product is going bad before the bottle's used up. So that is just something to note if you do like this product and you're hoping for bigger bottles. Now, I feel like everybody that's not affiliated with Doglyness wants to know if they're a cult. I think they might be a little bit, but not intentionally, just a little bit, right? Because they got this like cult following. It's pretty intense. But I asked Ingrid, I was like, just so you know, that day that like I had all the responses and whatever, and I got some very not nice messages. Whenever that day, when I talked to her on the phone, I was like, you know, that day that I posted about you, I was like, I got quite a lot of people messaging me saying that you guys are a cult. So, and she was like, oh my gosh. She's like, no, I think that people just are really dedicated and da-da-da. So they're apparently not a cult. But anyway, so do you have to dilute the conditioner? Because if you watched my video, you know that I didn't really like that you had to dilute the conditioner, and they said no. So you can use it straight if you want, but I haven't yet. I've just been mixing it with like a little bit of water and frothing it up. That's how I've been using it the most, and I really like it. Okay, so another thing I talked about in my last video that I wasn't sure about was I asked if you could use it around the face, and yes, you can. I don't remember if I talked about that in the video or not, but you can put it on the face. It is tearless. They have put it in their own eyes, and no, it doesn't burn, and throughout using it for the last couple weeks, I've had it shaken into my eyes enough times to tell you it doesn't burn. So totally can use it around the face, but I feel like I like something a little bit stronger scented for the face, especially on like stinky cheeses, you know. And I was curious, I don't know if anybody else was, I was like, where'd y'all come from? How long y'all even been around, right? And they started in 2020, just like me, so twins. And I asked, I was like, is this a product that you could use on every single breed that came in? And technically yes, but they're still like making more things. Like right now it's like good for like certain dogs. Like again, you can use it on anything, but it sounds to me like they'll eventually make more products that would be more specific to each breed. So right now, the oats, I have been using, I like it on my skin issue dogs. I like it on poodles. Ingrid said that you could use it on Nordic breeds. I would maybe use the conditioner, but I'm like 50-50 on if I would use the shampoo on a Nordic breed. Like, I just think on Luna, it wouldn't even get her clean. Sorry. I know. And they were like, well, it would because actually, blah, 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 blah. I know, honey. But listen. Again, with the dick measuring contest, I've been doing this a long time. And I know my dog, and I know that shampoo, I need something that's going to clean the fuck out of her. And this organic stuff, I'm just like, don't know that's going to do the job. And one thing I don't like is I understand their thing with the fragrances and that they, like, are keeping everything, like, super natural. But whatever fragrances they're able to use with the natural restrictions, they don't really smell like anything, and my thing is, like, when I'm bathing the dogs, I'm just getting wet dog smell. I don't love it. Not even a little bit. And yeah, I can spray some cologne on the dog afterwards to make it better, but I just feel like it makes me mentally think that shampoo's not cleaning them enough, and it makes me feel like they're still going to smell bad when I bring them inside. And then it makes me think my van's also going to smell bad, because I'm just blowing stinky dog all over, because the shampoo didn't make them smell good. I don't love that about it. I mean, hate me for it if you will, but I'm just saying. I just don't love it for that reason, okay? But I like it for other reasons, okay? I'm not trying to be the meanest person on the planet with this. I'm just saying. Okay. So, like I said, the oats formula, I think it works good on poodles, medicated issues, She said Nordic breeds. I'm 50-50 on that. I think the conditioner would be okay, but I would not waste my shampoo on my Luna. So the oats was actually their first formula that they worked on, even though the Immortelle came out first. And like I said, it is for dogs with skin reactions. It has larger molecules that go on the outside layer of the hair, so that way when you rinse it, it all comes off. A lot of the leave-in conditioners and stuff like that, and the Immortelle, it has small molecules, and they kind of get up into the cuticle of the hair, and they stay there, so there's a long-lasting result. The reason that oats is not that way is because it was designed for dogs with medicated issues, and it's meant to rinse completely. So the Immortelle, for example, would last longer on the coat, whereas the oats is going to rinse completely. And the reason it does that is because they said that within, like, most dogs will have issues like reactions to the shampoo within like 3 days after you bathe them. So with this fully rinsing, it's just going to make less chances for dogs to have skin reactions. So I do like that. And I have been, anytime somebody's like, well, so-and-so is chewing, or they're doing this, or they're itchy, that's what I've been putting on them, is the Doglyness. And I do think, especially on like red irritated skin, it does seem to make it look nicer, right? I showed that in my last video, okay? Don't get your pitchforks yet. I did show that. So the oats formula is the lightest of the two formulas because of the reason I just told you, that it rinses off and all that. And then we have the Immortelle, and that is for the dog's best hair, is the way they always phrased to me. Like, supposed to give them their best hair day, right? That's their vibe. I've heard the Immortelle is the bomb. I asked Ingrid at the end of our phone call, I told her, and I said this in my last video, I said I'm not a fan of organic, I'm not a fan of all natural. I found that they don't clean well. They don't, they're just, to me, kind of bullshit, okay? That's mean. I know that's mean, but that's what I've always thought about them. So I've really been being nice this whole time, because, like, the whole time I thought that organic was, like, a scheme. I know! And there's, like, you organic people are like, oh, how dare she? I know, but that's what it seemed like, okay? Don't come for me. Or you probably will. I don't care. But I was like, so why should I care? And she basically said that there's no chemicals that can negatively affect the dog's skin or your skin. There's no essential oils, and there's less of an environmental impact, which I've said multiple times now that I think that their bottles are amazing. And if they could put, like, I still am not sold on organic. I said it last video. I still mean it. I've gotten to a point where it doesn't really leave as much of a film anymore, but I've noticed, like, even in the water, you can kind of see the film. Like, you really have to be careful with it, because you can very much overdo it with these products. Just to tie it up, like I said, Doglyness is expensive for a reason, and it's because the most important things to them are being the organic, eco-friendly, vegan, da 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 da. That's what is the most important to them. So because they want to meet all those ratings, they buy more expensive ingredients so they can meet those ratings, and in turn they have to charge you more because it costs them more to make it, right? So that makes sense. Am I sold that I like just need organic now? No. I still don't have a problem with sulfates. I don't have a problem with silicones. It all works just fine for me. And like even the whole like she's talking about like dogs only need to be groomed like once or twice a month with the Doglyness. Same with Hydra, right? I groom the dogs every 4 to 6 weeks, typically my clients, and they are fine in between. Most of my clients don't bathe their dogs in between, so it's like, again, like the earlier comment of like you can't compare the two, like I get what they're saying, but it's like, but you can totally compare them, you know? So I think they're expensive for a reason. I think their bottle is good. I think once you figure it out, like the weird mixing ratios, that it does do, like it's reassuring to use on my skin issue dogs and stuff like that, knowing it rinses fully off and should have less likely a chance to cause skin issues. We love that. Those things are all good. Do I think that I would pay this amount of money to make this my only shampoo in the shop? No. Do I think other groomers should do that? No. Not unless you're like house call or very, very low volume. If you're grooming any more than like 5 dogs a day, I just don't know that I could justify doing this product on every single dog. Because not only is it the product itself expensive, it's also very time consuming to leave on, which I mentioned in my last video. So I think it would cost you a lot of money to switch completely over to this product. So again, I wouldn't recommend it. If you were somebody that's used to using Tropiclean, anything like that, maybe get this for yourself as a splurge, or get this stuff for yourself as a splurge. But I would not plan on making this your new everyday shampoo in your shop, because I just don't think financially it's there yet. Now, they are hoping to make like the production of these products, they, you know, if more large companies get into the more organic stuff and like start making the bottles and whatever, basically the science I was talking about earlier will become more available more quickly, because these big brands have the money to like push the market essentially. So you know, I do think that if they can get to a point where their price point is a little bit more affordable, more reasonable, I guess, for what groomers have to spend. Because that's the thing. I'm not saying the price is unreasonable for what they are providing. Like, I think, like, I understand why their cost is so high, but I think it's unreasonable when somebody's used to buying a $30 gallon that lasts them several weeks to a month. I think it's kind of unreasonable to expect that that same person would buy an $80 16-ounce bottle. Okay? So, yeah, we're never doing another review like this ever again. This was a literal nightmare. Anyway, I hope you guys learned a lot. Maybe learned something. Maybe learned I'm an asshole. I don't know. I hope this was worth my time. Kind of feels like it's not right now, but it might just be because I'm tired and hangry. Yeah, a little cranky. I was actually going for cranky, tired, cranky, and hungry, but I am a little hangry, so that works. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this like annoyingly long video series that basically nobody really asked for. And yeah, next product of the week we'll go into normal products of the week, where we're shooting for 10 to 15 minutes videos and be like, wham bam, I like this, or wham bam, I don't. That's what we're going for. So I hope you guys enjoyed for the millionth time. Please pray for me, because I've got to go edit this now. All right. I love you guys. I'll see you in another time, another life, another day. Goodbye.